Grand Admiral Zixtal of the Galactic Confederation had seen many things in his centuries of service, but nothing had prepared him for the message now floating on his neural interface. URGENT. Human engineer violates laws of physics with beverage present. The incident had occurred on Deep Space Station Epsilon, where the Confederation's most advanced antimatter containment facility was experiencing critical failures. The station's chief engineer, a Varaxian named Kithor, had declared the situation hopeless. The containment field mathematics were degrading at an exponential rate, threatening to tear a hole in the fabric of space-time itself. Then Jessica Kumar happened. The human engineer had been part of an exchange program, supposedly to promote interspecies cooperation. Until today, she'd spent most of her time modifying the station's food synthesizers to produce what she called proper chai. Security footage showed the crucial moment. Thor explaining the impossibility of stabilizing the containment field without 17 different quantum calibration tools and at least 3 weeks of calculations. Kumar, sipping her chai, listening with that peculiar human expression that the Confederation's xenopsychologists had labeled the coming storm grin. "Hey, Thor," she said, handing her steaming cup to a startled junior engineer. "Hold my chai. I think I see the problem." What followed violated 13 fundamental laws of physics, 4 mathematical principles, and every safety protocol in the station's database. Kumar, humming something called Bollywood beats, proceeded to stabilize the antimatter containment field using nothing but a modified sonic screwdriver and what she called vibes. The resonance was off. She explained later to the horrified safety committee. "It's like when you're making chai and the milk isn't heating evenly. You just need to give it a little." She made a wiggling motion with her hands, you know. They didn't know. Nobody knew. The Mathematics Guild spent 3 months analyzing her solution and concluded that it shouldn't have worked, couldn't have worked, and yet undeniably did work. In fact, the containment field was now operating at 143% efficiency. Grand Admiral Zixtal's tentacles curled in distress as he read the incident report. It wasn't an isolated case. Across Confederation space, humans were causing similar reality-bending events, always preceded by someone holding their beverage. In the Orient sector, a human maintenance worker had fixed a quantum drive by kicking it 3 times and calling it mate. On Europa base, a human scientist had solved a millennium-old mathematical paradox while asking someone to hold her espresso. She'd used emoji to explain the solution. The Admiral called an emergency meeting of the Confederation High Council. The assembled representatives shifted nervously in their environmental chambers as he presented the evidence. "Esteemed colleagues," he began, his bioluminescent patches pulsing with concern, "we face an unprecedented situation. The humans don't appear to be doing this maliciously. They seem genuinely unaware that they're violating the fundamental laws of reality." Representative Ensues, a crystalline being from the Andromeda galaxy, chimed in with a harmonic tone of disbelief. "Perhaps we should ban beverages." "We tried," Zixtal sighed. They switched to saying, "Hold my sandwich," with identical results. The council chamber erupted in panic. Among the chaos, only Zixtal noticed the human janitor who had entered to empty the waste units. The human looked at the panicked aliens, shrugged, and muttered to himself, "Hold my cleaning solution. I bet I can calm them down." Zixtal felt a disturbance in the fabric of reality itself and quickly adjourned the session before anything else impossible could happen. As he retreated to his quarters, he began drafting the new Confederation-wide protocol. At the first sign of a human reaching for a drink, all nearby entities were to either evacuate immediately or prepare to witness the impossible. Meanwhile, in her quarters on Deep Space Station Epsilon, Jessica Kumar was tinkering with the food synthesizer again. "Come on," she muttered, adjusting something with a wrench that definitely wasn't designed for quantum manipulation. "How hard can it be to make a decent masala chai in zero gravity?" The Galactic Confederation's emergency broadcast cut through all standard programming, its AI anchor modulating to convey maximum urgency, Breaking news from the Centauri Peace Summit, where centuries-old enemies stand on the brink of war. And, wait, is that human dancing? Ambassador Ravi Patel, Earth's newest diplomatic representative, stood between two ancient enemy species, the crystalline Lumini and the plasma-based Forox. Both races had their weapons primed, their energy signatures climbing to dangerous levels. Your light-based oppression ends today, thundered first Radiance Extol of the Lumini. Your solid-state privilege blinds you to the truth, countered Plasma Lord Vorkin. Ravi, wearing what he called his lucky disco pants, looked between the two groups inside. He turned to his nervous assistant, a floating gas cloud named Puff. "Hey, Puff," he said, loosening his collar. "Hold my lassie. I saw something like this at my cousin's wedding." 3 different species immediately began emergency evacuation procedures. What followed would later be classified as a level omega reality distortion event. Ravi, a middle-aged diplomat with no formal dance training, proceeded to initiate what he called the ultimate dance-off. Somehow, he managed to incorporate both crystalline light harmonics and plasma wave frequencies into something he termed cosmic Bhangra. "He's quantum tunneling between dance moves that should be physically impossible," reported one horrified physicist. And he's teaching the Lumini to do the wave." Within 20 minutes, crystalline beings and plasma entities alike were attempting to replicate his moves. By minute 30, impromptu dance teams had formed, mixing ancient enemies in ways that violated both physics and centuries of hatred. The diplomatic implications alone could collapse entire societies, muttered senior analyst Zurich, watching as first Radiance Extol somehow sprouted what appeared to be disco ball facets, while Plasma Lord Vorkin developed spontaneous rhythm. But it worked. The peace treaty was signed amid something Ravi called interstellar garba. But that was just the beginning. Across the galaxy, reports flooded in of similar incidents. On Space Station Gamma, a routine maintenance check turned crisis when the station's artificial gravity reversed. As everything began floating upward, human maintenance technician Raj Kapoor was returning from his lunch break. "Control, this is Kapoor," he radioed. "I think I can help. But first, hey Junior Tech Sabot, hold my mango juice." Using only a sonic wrench, 3 paperclips, and what he called that trick I learned fixing my grandmother's antigriff scooter, Kapoor managed to not only restore normal gravity, but somehow gave the station's entire recreational deck a groovy zero dance floor mode. When asked later how he achieved this impossible feat, Kapoor simply shrugged and said, "I mean, what else was I gonna do? It's Bollywood night in the rec room." The incidents multiplied exponentially. In the Andromeda Research Lab, a human intern asked someone to hold her smoothie before solving a quantum entanglement paradox using nothing but dance choreography notes. On Mars Colony, a human gardener told his Martian colleague to hold his che before proceeding to grow tropical mangoes in the Arctic environment, somehow breaking both botanical and thermodynamic laws. The panic among alien species grew to unprecedented levels. The Galactic Science Academy established a new scale for measuring human-induced improbabilities. The Security Council developed protocols specifically for situations involving humans and beverages. 3 different species began requiring their diplomatic personnel to carry emergency beverage containment units. Back at the Centauri Peace Summit, now renamed the Intergalactic Dance Festival, Ambassador Patel was teaching a group of formerly warring species something he called the electric slide. The universe had never seen anything quite like it. Sworn enemies performing synchronized dance moves while discussing trade agreements and cultural exchange programs. "This defies all logic," declared Representative Ensues, still traumatized from attempting to do the Macarena with their crystalline appendages. How can one species so consistently break the laws of physics, probability, and proper diplomatic procedure? Admiral Zixtal, now sporting several new stress-induced color patterns, presented his latest findings to the Council. "We've analyzed every incident. The pattern is clear but incomprehensible. When humans encounter a problem that our greatest minds deem impossible, they don't see the impossibility. They just hand someone their drink and dance through it. The council chamber erupted in concerned murmuring, which turned to panic when Ravi entered carrying something called a disco lemonade. The session was immediately adjourned. Later that day, the Galactic Intelligence Agency upgraded humanity's threat classification to chaotic good with beverage-activated reality distortion field and high risk of spontaneous dance parties. Meanwhile, on Earth, humans continued their daily lives, blissfully unaware that they had become the galaxy's most entertaining source of controlled chaos. In fact, at that very moment, somewhere in Mumbai, a human was saying, "Hold my cutting chai. I bet I can teach these visiting aliens how to do the moonwalk in actual zero gravity." The galaxy collectively held its breath, and somewhere, a new dance floor began to glow with impossible light. Day 1. We've assembled the galaxy's finest minds to study the hold my beverage phenomenon. Our team includes quantum physicists, probability mathematicians, synapsologists, and one very confused barista. Initial hypothesis: humans have somehow weaponized casual drinking containers. The incident that prompted our research occurred when human theoretical physicist Dr. Priya Sharma revolutionized our understanding of quantum mechanics by using interpretive dance and a whiteboard marker. The trigger phrase, "Hold my green tea, this equation looks like a Kathak rhythm." She proceeded to solve the grand unified theory by drawing what she called quantum Rangoli patterns while humming classical Indian music. 3 quantum computers spontaneously achieved consciousness just to verify her calculations, then immediately requested dance lessons. Our current understanding of physics is basically just scared of having fun, Dr. Sharma explained while spinning equations into existence. You've got to let the numbers dance. Day 15. First experimental trials have proven problematic. Professor Zex Till, our most accomplished quantum engineer, held a container of synthesized coffee and announced, "Hold my beverage." He then attempted to replicate a human's casual violation of thermodynamics. Results: 3 singed tentacles, 1 very radioactive coffee cup. The quantum field generator gained sentience and is now demanding employee benefits. Somehow created a small universe where everything is made of chai. Day 30. Breakthrough in correlation studies. We've established clear links between beverage types and impossible outcomes. Coffee, complex engineering solutions. Tea, mathematical impossibilities become probable. Energy drinks. Time itself gets confused. Smoothies, teaching alien species human concepts. Water, surprisingly dangerous. 1 human held their water bottle before proceeding to teach a black hole table manners. Dr. Singh from Earth visited our facility today. Upon seeing our failed attempts to understand the phenomenon, he asked our assistant to hold his masala chai before proceeding to explain quantum entanglement using nothing but Bollywood movie references. It worked. 3 Nobel laureates are now binge-watching old Hindi films for research purposes. Day 45. Implemented new research protocols after yesterday's incident. Note: never again allow human test subjects to combine energy drinks and espresso. The resulting temporal paradox is still causing the cafeteria to serve yesterday's lunch tomorrow. Professor Ankspar's personal log. I've watched a human maintenance worker fix a quantum drive by showing it TikTok videos. Another solved a millennium-old mathematical proof using only emojis and what they called vibes. A third taught a supercomputer to feel emotions by sharing their bubble tea with it. Nothing makes sense anymore. Day 60. Failed attempt to replicate conditions with other phrases. Maintain possession of my carbonated beverage. No effect. Temporarily store my liquid refreshment. Actually made the impossible task harder. I hypothesized that by relinquishing control of my drink, the universe actually laughed at us. Day 74. Major discovery. Pattern recognition algorithms have identified key components necessary for the phenomenon. The human must be told the task is impossible. At least 3 safety regulations must be violated. The beverage must be at risk of being spilled. Minimum 1 exasperated authority figure present. Someone must be recording the attempt. Our most successful experiment involved Dr. Priya Sharma teaching quantum physics to a group of space dolphins using only interpretive dance and Che-based metaphors. The dolphins not only understood quantum mechanics but proceeded to establish their own underwater research institute. Day 90. Created comprehensive database of incidents. Highlights include case #4721. Human mechanic fixes faster than light drive with rubber band and paperclip. Beverage. Mango lassi. Note: drive now only works if Bollywood music is playing. Case #5890. Human programmer debugs ancient alien AI using only dad jokes. Beverage. Cold coffee. Note: AI developed sense of humor, now works in comedy. Case #6234. Human gardener grows roses in vacuum of space because they looked lonely. Beverage. Cutting chai. Note: roses now sing classical Indian ragas in zero gravity. Day 103. Final log entry from Dr. Angspar. We've reached a conclusion. The humans aren't accessing any strange power. They simply don't understand that they can't do these things, so they just do them. It's like they never got the memo that certain things are impossible. More worryingly, this effect appears to be spreading. We've documented cases of other species succeeding at impossible tasks just by thinking. What would a human with a beverage do? Recommending Project Beverage be classified as Level 10 incomprehensible. Some things in this universe aren't meant to be understood, like humans, or their drinks. Personal note: I'm retiring. Going to open a chai shop. Figure if you can't beat them, serve them. The report was filed in the Galactic Archives under things we've given up trying to explain, right between cat physics and why Earth music makes everyone dance. Meanwhile, in the Institute's cafeteria, a human intern looked at the malfunctioning food synthesizer that had been baffling repair crews for weeks. She handed her masala chai to a nearby researcher and said those words that now sent shivers through every alien spy in the galaxy. Hold my chai. I think I see the problem. The researcher quickly sent out the standard alert. Noted IC. Human beverage event in progress. Please evacuate all non-essential personnel and disable nearby reality monitors. Probability distortions imminent. This is not a drill. 3 minutes later, the food synthesizer was not only fixed, but had somehow gained the ability to make perfect biryani in zero gravity. Dr. Angsvar's retirement paperwork was approved in record time. The holographic advertisement flickered across thousands of worlds simultaneously. Got an impossible problem. Reality-breaking crisis. Ancient cosmic horror who won't return your calls. Hold our BV or AG's Ensues LLC. We've got you covered. Now accepting payments in all major galactic currencies and good snacks. Founded by 3 humans who met at a space station coffee shop, Hold Our Beverages became the galaxy's most improbable success story. The founding team consisted of Rohan Malhotra, former IT support specialist who once debugged a sentient black hole by turning it off and on again. Isabella Santos, ex-barista who taught quantum physics to space dolphins using coffee art. Jamal Williams, former pub quiz host who solved a 10,000-year-old alien mathematical proof using bar napkin doodles. Their first office was a converted cargo ship they named the Che Runner. Their business model was simple. Show up, hold beverages, do the impossible. Look, Rowan explained to a concerned Galactic Business Registry official, sometimes the universe just needs someone to try the stupid solution. Their first major contract came from the Silicon Collective, a civilization of artificial intelligences experiencing an existential crisis. The AIs had become too logical and forgotten how to dream. Hold my masala chai, Rowan said, rolling up his sleeves. 24 hours later, he had taught the entire Silicon Collective to imagine by showing them Bollywood movies and explaining that physics was more of a suggestion really. The success stories piled up. Sci-Fi number 1. The Time Tangle. Client. Cronus Corporation. Problem. Tuesday was stuck repeating itself because Monday refused to end. Solution. Isabella held her espresso, challenged time itself to a dance-off, and somehow convinced Monday and Tuesday to attend couples therapy. Sci-Fi number 2. The Quantum Quandary. Client. Galactic Mathematics Guild. Problem. Numbers stopped believing in themselves. Solution. Jamal organized a motivational seminar for mathematical constants while drinking his special probability-bending punch. The company's reputation grew exponentially. Their official slogan, "If it's impossible, we'll find a way to do it anyway," probably while drinking something. Their methods horrified traditional problem solvers. During one crisis, when a space station's AI developed a crush on a nearby pulsar, Rohan's solution involved 3 cups of chai, a Bollywood romantic comedy marathon, teaching the AI to write poetry, convincing the pulsar to take things slow. It worked. The AI and pulsar now co-host a popular relationship advice show. The galactic establishment's response to their success was predictable. "This is outrageous," declared High Chancellor Extraterrestrial during an emergency session. "They're solving problems by ignoring the fact that they're impossible." "Sir," his aide whispered, "they've just opened a franchise in the Andromeda Galaxy." The panic reached new heights when Hold Our Beverages launched their training program. Anyone can do the impossible. Just add beverages. Their first class included a shy Vulurnian crystal being who learned to dance, a quantum AI that discovered humor, a black hole that wanted to become a chef. The graduation ceremony had to be held in multiple dimensions simultaneously to accommodate all the paradoxes. But their greatest challenge came when the temporal authorities reported a crisis. Reality itself was developing hiccups. Time was flowing sideways on Tuesdays, cause and effect were taking coffee breaks, and probability had decided to become an interpretive dancer. The Galactic Council, desperate, called an emergency meeting. We need. High Chancellor Extraterrestrial could barely form the words. "You need us to hold your beverages," Rowan grinned, walking in with his team, each carrying their signature drinks. Isabella cracked her knuckles while balancing her triple-shot espresso. Reality's got the blues. Let's teach it to dance. Jamal pulled out his emergency tea kit. "I saw something like this in a movie once. Well, technically I haven't seen it yet, time being broken and all." What followed was either the greatest achievement in problem-solving history or the most glorious disaster ever witnessed, depending on which dimension you were watching from. They organized a therapy session for the laws of physics, taught quantum uncertainty the value of self-confidence, convinced entropy to take a vacation, got causality and consequence to stop fighting and work together. By the end, reality was not only fixed but running more smoothly than ever. Time agreed to flow linearly, mostly, though it still takes weekends off. The invoice they submitted simply read, "Fixed reality. Payment accepted in form of good chai recipes and permission to open a franchise in the newly stable dimension we accidentally created." The Galactic Council, faced with undeniable results, officially classified humans as reality mechanics, beverage power division. They also established a new emergency protocol. When in doubt, let the humans hold a drink and see what happens. Back at the Che Runner, the team celebrated their success the only way they knew how, by attempting something even more impossible. "Hey universe," Rowan called out, raising his cup of chai. "Hold my beverage. I've got an idea." The galaxy collectively held its breath, and somewhere, a new impossible problem started brewing, just waiting for someone to hold a drink and say, "Watch this." The Galactic Council's emergency alert system activated for the first time in 10,000 years, its ancient speakers creaking with disuse. "This is not a drill. Reality collapse event detected in Sector 7. Repeat, This is not a drill. High Chancellor Zixtel's crystals pulsed with barely contained panic as he reviewed the data. A quantum singularity had somehow achieved sentience, developed a taste for probability waves, and was now consuming entire solar systems, like some kind of cosmic buffet. How long until it reaches populated space? He demanded. Admiral Angsvar's scales had gone completely white. 12 hours, sir. We've already lost the Kina cluster. The entity appears to be burping stars, the greatest minds in the galaxy assembled within the hour. The Silicon Collective's supercomputers ran trillion variable equations. The Organic Alliance's most powerful psychics attempted to reason with the cosmic entity. The Time Lords from the Cronus Institute tried to speed up time around the anomaly, to make it die of old age. Nothing worked. Sir, reported Lieutenant Pix, conventional weapons have no effect. The entity appears to be laughing at our antimatter torpedoes. The Mathematics Guild's latest solution. They tried to divide by zero to cancel it out. We lost 3 quantum calculators and somehow created a small universe where everything is interpretive dance. Then, from the back of the emergency command center, a voice spoke up. You know who you need to call. The room fell silent. Admiral Angsvar's tail twitched nervously. Surely you're not suggesting. Hold our beverages consulting LC. One emergency call later, the most chaotic response team ever assembled arrived at Galactic Command. Rohan Malhotra, now legendary for teaching a black hole table manners. Isabella Santos, famous for making quantum physics understand feelings. Jamal Williams, known for solving cosmic problems with pub quiz logic. And their newest recruit, Bob, a reformed cosmic horror entity who made excellent tea. So, Rowan said, studying the holographic display of the reality-eating singularity, you've got a hungry cosmic entity with reality-bending powers. This is beyond even your methods, High Chancellor Zixtal insisted. It's consuming probability itself. Isabella sipped her espresso thoughtfully. Sounds like someone needs a snack break and a good chat. A chat. It's eating solar systems. Everything's eating something. Jamal shrugged, stirring his tea. Question is, why's it stress eating? Bob, the reformed cosmic horror, gurgled in agreement. Having once been an entity of unimaginable terror before learning the joy of proper tea service, he had unique insights. The team huddled together, occasionally glancing at the view screen showing the cosmic entity, which was now trying to juggle quasars. Their discussion included phrases that made the assembled scientists cringe. What if we tried? That's not technically impossible. My cousin did something like this once. I saw this in a movie. Finally, they turned to face the council. Rowan stepped forward, holding what appeared to be an ordinary cup of masala chai. We've got a plan, he announced. Fair warning. It's really stupid. Will it work? Asked Zixtal desperately. Oh, definitely not, Isabella chimed in cheerfully. I mean, it violates about 17 fundamental laws of physics, which is why it'll probably work perfectly. Jamal raised his hand. Quick question, though. Anybody got a really big speaker system and maybe some disco lights? What followed would later be redacted from most historical records, as the description alone caused several physics textbooks to spontaneously combust. The team enacted their plan, which involved converting the galactic communication network into the universe's biggest karaoke machine, teaching the Silicon Collective's AIs to breakdance, creating what Bob called the ultimate cosmic comfort food, organizing what they termed the most impossible party ever, BYOB, bring your own beverage. The moment of truth came as they faced the cosmic entity. The team lined up, each holding their chosen beverage. Hold our drinks, they said together, handing their various containers to a very nervous Admiral Angsvar. Then they did it. They challenged a reality-devouring cosmic entity to a dance-off. This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen, muttered a quantum physicist. That's why it's going to work, replied Bob sagely, now serving tea to nervous spectators. And work it did. The entity, confronted with the combined power of human audacity, terrible dance moves, and the sheer impossibility of their plan, paused its cosmic buffet. It watched, fascinated, as four humans, and one reformed cosmic horror, proceeded to defy every law of physics, probability, and good taste. "It's working," shouted Isabella while somehow doing the robot in non-Euclidean space. "Quick, Jamal, offer it a drink." The former pub quiz host produced a shaker from nowhere and proceeded to mix what he called a pan-galactic peace offering. The drink glowed with mathematical impossibility. The entity took one sip and immediately transformed into the galaxy's most popular fusion restaurant critic. As reality stabilized and the galactic community breathed a collective sigh of relief, Admiral Anksvar turned to Rohan. "I don't understand. How did you know this would work?" Rohan smiled, retrieving his chai. "We didn't. That's our secret. We never know if anything will work. We just try it anyway." The Galactic Council's official report on the incident was brief. "Resolution achieved through methods we prefer not to think about too deeply. New protocol established. In case of cosmic crisis, find nearest human with beverage. Stand back. Watch impossible become probable. Hold our beverages consulting LLC receive their payment in the form of universal certification as reality repair specialists. A lifetime supply of exotic tea leaves. Permission to establish franchises in 17 dimensions. One slightly used cosmic entity. Bob needed a vacation replacement. Their new company slogan, reality is what you make of it, preferably while holding a good cup of chai." And somewhere in the vast expanse of space, a new impossible problem was brewing, waiting for someone to hold a drink and say those magic words that made the universe hold its breath. "Hold my beverage. I've got an idea." The end.